7.1, number 24, we've got an integral here of a product of x times the natural log of x quantity squared. Two separate parts, derivatives don't match up. Let's go integration by parts. So here we go. Going by Lippitt, we're going to let u equal the logarithmic part, but remember, unlike u substitution, you've got to include the whole thing with it. So the u is going to be the natural log of x, including the square. dv is everything else, which is the x and the dx. Differentiating u, this gets a little tricky. Derivative of anything squared is 2 times the same base to the first power times the derivative within, which is going to be a 1 over x and a dx at the end of all that. Anti-differentiating dv, we're going to get a 1/2 x squared. So the original integral right here is equal to our u times our v, that's a 1/2 x squared times the natural log of x quantity squared, minus the integral of v times du. The 2 and the 1/2 are going to cancel each other out. The x squared gets multiplied by the 1 over x to make just an x, and that natural log comes right here with a dx. So, in a way, this didn't quite do what we wanted it to do. We still have a difficult integral to evaluate here, one that we can't just look at and say what the answer is. However, I think it's pretty clear to see that if you compare the original integral to this new one where we're at right now, we've definitely made some progress, so there's reason to think that doing it one more time is probably going to help. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to let u equal the natural log of x right here in this integral. The dv is everything else, the x and the dx. We're going to differentiate u to get just a 1 over x dx. Anti-differentiating the x dx gets us a 1/2 x squared. So the original integral from up above is equal to the original u times v term right here, that gets repeated, and then minus the following integral right here. So minus, here we go, this integral is now the new u times v, so that's a 1/2 x squared natural log of x, minus the integral of v times du. And again, just like last time, the x squared gets multiplied by a 1 over x to make just an x. No natural log this time, so dx at the end here. And finally now, that's the third integral we're dealing with, but that's one we can actually evaluate. So, the original integral is now equal to this, the 1/2 x squared natural log of x squared. We're going to distribute that negative inside here and get a minus 1/2 x squared natural log of x. The minus minus makes a plus. The 1/2 right there is going to combine with the 1/2 we're going to get out of this antiderivative to make a 1/4 x squared and a plus c. And at the end of that, everybody, there's really nothing that needs to be done, just maybe some factoring if you felt like cleaning it up just a little bit. But that's good for that one.